What's up guys, welcome back to Finance to Fly. My name is Luke and I'm here to help you elevate your travel while minimizing your spending. Today we got a new episode of Travel Rewards Weekly What's New, where we cover all the things happening in the points and miles space over the last week or so. It's actually going to be 2 weeks since I missed the last week, and as you can tell, I'm actually somewhere else other than the normal place where I record. Currently in a hotel over in Barcelona and getting ready to board my flight in a couple hours. But anyways, there's been a lot happening over the last 2 weeks. Let's jump in with some new sign-up bonuses. First things first, last time we were on the show, we mentioned that there was going to be a 100,000 point offer on the Chase Sapphire Preferred. That is now live. 5,000 spent in the first 3 months. Solid offer to jump on. Another thing I mentioned was that the United cards were going to be getting new sign-up bonuses and changes coming their way. Those ended up happening. A lot of the sign-up bonuses are on the screen now for both personal and business cards. I'll let you read them off right now. And then a lot of the changes to the annual fees. All of the annual fees raised by about 50 to 100 to I think $150, just depending on what step you took. But a lot of increases to annual fees. You did get a lot of credits with those, so it's going to be a 50-50 shot on if it's still worth it. I'm gonna have videos coming out on all three of those cards, maybe even the business cards over the next couple of months, but just wanted to give you a heads up that those changes were made. And personally, if I were to get a card right now, I definitely get the Explorer card because it's got the 0 annual fee waived for the first year. So instead of paying $150 for your annual fee in the first year, you don't have to pay that. Plus it's got 90,000 point sign-up bonus, all of the rideshare credits, stuff like that you can take advantage of. But personally, I'll be looking at the business card with the 125,000 point sign-up bonus, $150 annual fee. I think that's an absolute solid sign-up bonus. Plus you get all those credits, which I'll somewhat be able to take advantage of. But that 125,000 point sign-up bonus is a solid offer, and I'm going to jump on that if I can over the next couple months. The Chase Freedom Unlimited also increased their offer. Nothing too special, just $200 cash back turned into $250 cash back after $500 spent in the first 3 months. Solid offer if you wanted to get that card, but make sure if you are getting that card or looking at getting that card, you do get the best offer. So this would be one of the best offers out there. Over the last week, since April 1st, we've gotten a bunch of transfer bonuses too. Amex had 2 of them come out, one of them to Aeromexico, one of them to Etihad, both 20%. The Aeromexico ends on April 30th, while the Etihad did not have a date at the time of this recording. They also launched a transfer bonus. This one was 80% to IHG, and this also ends April 30th. Overall, all 3 of these offers are not the best offers to jump on. I mean, you don't usually redeem points with Aeromexico. You don't usually redeem points with Etihad unless if it's for the first or business class or an American Airlines domestic class. Reason why you don't really want to redeem with Etihad is because if you have to cancel, they take 25% of your award points away. So it's kind of sucky. Wouldn't want to redeem really your points with those, even though you do get a nice bonus, but they're out there in case you do have a 100% confirmed flight on that. Then IHG, obviously 80% is pretty good, but IHG points are still only redeemed at around 0.5 to 0.75 cents per point. That's without holding the card. It's a solid offer if you have a good redemption coming up and you needed a couple extra points, but would probably stay away from all 3 of those transfer bonuses. I feel like I've talked about Southwest almost every week this year, and I have to talk more about them. They had the major points devaluation come. Instead of usually getting the 1.35 cents per point in value for your points, it now is going to range between off-season and peak season pricing. So you can get from 1.1 cent per point rate for mostly peak season, and then 1.7-ish cent per point rate for off-season pricing. This kind of sucks. This really sucks. I looked at the flights from Cleveland and Nashville because that was one of the solid redemption offers I could get. I could spend 20 to 25,000 points instead of $350 to $400 and get a round trip ticket to Nashville. Solid times. I mean, maybe middle afternoon on a Friday, middle afternoon on a Sunday, come home. That was a solid option. It's now 45,000 points for that same flight. Not to mention the prices have increased too. Overall, really negative changes. I don't want to harp on Southwest. It seems like they are going to spiral down toilet drain. It's one thing to change one thing at a time. Changing their whole program, every single thing that they were about in a matter of months is going to upset a lot of customers, and I think a lot of people are going to stay away from them. Even better yet, there was a small little teaser that I saw on Reddit or Doctor of Credit that changes are coming to the Southwest airline cards. You know those are going to be bad. You're probably going to be checked bag. You're going to get checked bags for free. You're probably going to get seat assigning for free, maybe earlier boarding, something like that. Maybe probably a credit, probably a rideshare credit, probably a food credit, something like that. They're going to up the annual fees. You just know it. I mean, the way they're going right now, they're going to probably up the annual fees by $100 each, if I wouldn't be shocked. And we are lucky that Southwest does not have a lounge, because if they had a lounge, they would be introducing the $1,000 card immediately. I mean, they are trying to get every single penny out of you, and I'm going to leave it at that, but they are making some very negative changes to the program, so I'm sure I'll be talking about them again soon. Now for some good news, Chase has extended their partner benefits with Peloton and Lyft until 2027, so pretty much all those benefits are going to stay the same. So that's overall pretty good for the consumer if you use those credits. Now for some fun airline things, Fiji Airways finally joined One World Alliance, and they adopted American Airlines Advantage miles for their currency. Overall, pretty good changes, pretty efficient and nice, additions to the American Airlines portfolio. Obviously, you were able to book Fiji Airlines with American Airlines points before or Alaska Airlines points before. Now it's just a little bit more easy, and you earn American Airlines miles on Fiji flights. So overall, all good news for One World. But bad news for SkyTeam. ITA Airways is going to be joining Star Alliance in 2026. I'm super excited for that because I do like Star Alliance over the other ones, just because United is pretty much my go-to big carrier at Cleveland. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see that I'll be able to book from Cleveland to directly into Italy a lot more easier, especially because Italy's great food. I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, those two things are happening in the alliances. Another thing happened outside of alliances, but in Avios, Logan Air has adopted the Avios program. Logan Air is a small carrier over in the UK. Gets you hopper flights around the UK. It does hold the record for the shortest commercial flight, and I think it's like 43 seconds or something like that. And now you can redeem points for that. They have some solid redemption options depending on how long your flight is, but they're all the same, and pretty good. Honestly, it's pretty solid. Redemptions are always going to be 6,500 points, and I think taxes and fees, and you can obviously redeem that for a $20 flight, or you can redeem that for a $300 flight. So pretty solid redemptions. That's a great way to use your Avios and a nice new redemption. Speaking about new redemptions, you can now redeem your JetBlue miles for Icelandic Air flights. It's pretty solid. I mean, I like that. I know Icelandic Air was flying from Cleveland back in 2017, I think, for like a year. It's too bad they don't anymore. I would have really appreciated that flight to Iceland, then over into Europe. They have a solid connection area, and if you do happen to want to use your JetBlue miles and you don't have JetBlue flying your airport, but you have Icelandic Air, not sure how much that overlaps, but be a solid option for you to be able to get to Europe in only one stop. All in all, a lot of changes happened this week. A lot of changes to programs, to cards, everything. Even where I'm recording happened to be a change. What I want to know now is, what do you think? What did you think about the United card changes? What do you think about the Southwest devaluations? Again, what do you think of the airline alliances getting some switch ups? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, have a great day.